All right, so the next app I'm going to be talking about is called Prodigy, and it's a math-based game for students. I selected this app because my students absolutely loved it last year. It's game-based, so the students are learning new math skills and they get to practice their math, but it seems like a video game to them, which I think is fantastic, and I think that's why a lot of my students were so engaged with it last year. I also picked Prodigy because it really relates to state standards and it ties very nicely to the curriculum that we have. It's a skill-based app and it's very individualized for students based on their levels and what they might need extra practice on. So the purpose of Prodigy is for students to practice their math skills and grow in their math foundational skills in order to continue their learning. And it's also a great way for students to practice questions that they might see on the state test starting in 3rd grade. The audience for Prodigy is my students. And the ISTE standards, one is for students and it's S1A. And that's because students will use strategies with technology and learning to achieve learning goals, to improve their learning outcomes, and in this case specifically relating to math and math skills. The other ISTE standard is for educators, and it is E7A, and that's because educators will provide students with another form of demonstrating their math standard competencies with using technology. All right, so let's walk through what it will look like. I'll show you what it'll look like on the teacher side as well as on the student side. So once you create your account as the teacher, if you go to prodigygame.com, you click the login button. I always log in with Google on everything that I do. And this is what the teacher dashboard will look like. Over here, you can see your classrooms that you have. It's super easy to create a new class. You click here, upload a roster, and you can input your students. I haven't created a new class this year because from doing reading this year, I don't necessarily need a math account. But if I were to click on last year's, this is what it would look like. Over here, they do have, you can see they have premium and memberships where you have to pay. I just use the free. It's very nice. It's easy to use. You get almost everything that you would get for the paid part, so the free version is just as good. This is what the dashboard looks like. It tells you how many students have been on, how many answers they've got correct, how many times they've been on, things like that, placement test results. I don't have any results just since this is last year's class. You can also see on this reports, this was very helpful for me last year. It breaks it down into a bunch of different things, progress, student usage. I used the placement test and the progress reports a lot, and it helped me guide instruction for small groups in math. When you go to students, this is where you can see what kids you have enrolled in your class. Easy to add and remove students throughout the year if you need to. Parent letters, you can send them home and it can connect to a parent email address, so they also get the same information emailed to them when the students log on to Prodigy as you would as the teacher. So it's a great way for them to also see what their students are doing in math and practicing. Okay, I want to show you what it looks like from the student side. So I created a fake account as a student on me so that I could show you what it looked like. Actually, let me go back and show you. So as a student, they would log into prodigygame.com and then they just click on this big white Play Prodigy button. And it would take them to this screen. So once you get your students logged in, if they have Gmail accounts, they can just use sign in with Google. Super easy because then they don't have to remember usernames and passwords. All right, so this is what it looks like from the student version. So this is my character that I created. The kids get to go in, they get to create the character to look like whatever they want. You could do this and you could put in that class code that they that they got from you. So this is by saying you can play from school or home. It comes up here and you get to pick a world. My kids, before they started, always said, oh, make sure you go into this world so we can battle. So you just pick one. All right, and it walks you through. I'm just going to click through super fast so you can actually see what it looks like when they're practicing their skills. All right, and they just click to move where they want to go, and they always have this little guide that teaches them how to move and how to get through the levels. They get to pick their names. All right, and then these are called monsters, who are people they actually get to battle. Eventually, when they do this one, after their placement test, they can battle their friends who are also playing. All right, so here's what it looks like when they actually get to battle, and this is just practicing their math skills. All right, so it has a question that might look like this. I selected kindergarten, so that's why it's starting really easy. It's nice because if they're not quite understanding what to do, they can click the hint, and it gives them an example. Also over here for the question and this for the hint if they can't read it. They click it and it'll read it to them. All right, so then when they know what to do, they have an answer box and they just select the right answer and hit cast spell. And it'll pop up correct. And it lets them actually battle. And they're trying to deplete the health to win the level. Okay, I'm going to show you what it looks like if they get something wrong. So here's another one. You can click to listen. And then say they put in the wrong answer. Just say oops, and then they just click see the answer so they can see what the correct answer was. So if they miss, they basically have their opponent attack them. And it just goes through, and then after they finish and it places them where they are, it'll give them more extra practice on the skills that they might have been lacking in. I'll show you what it looks like if you win a battle here really quick. All right. So this, I think, is what makes it super fun for the kids. It seems more like a video game than practicing math. All right, so they earn stars that they can use to purchase clothes and pets and different things throughout the whole game. All right, so after the battle, they just go and they get to walk through, and then they'll end up doing more battles and practicing more math skills. So, all right, well, that's that, and I hope you enjoyed Prodigy. Thank you.